How's it going, everyone? It's your man, Lost Disciple, the voice box of the underground of YouTube. And today I wanted to talk about something that's been on my mind for maybe about the past 2 days, I want to say. And it's kind of crazy that I've been thinking about this, but this has been something that I've been pondering, you know? Like, it all started when I noticed that computers don't have CD drives anymore. Like, do you remember back when, like, because I'm pretty sure Steam was around, because I was a little kid when computers still had CD drives, but like you could still buy computers with CD drives, I'm pretty sure, but like a lot of computers nowadays, they're not going to have a CD drive with them. I remember back then like always seeing like the GTA 4 in Walmart for like the PC CD-ROM discs and stuff like that. And my cousin had like the Sims discs, and like I remember like they couldn't play it unless they had the disc in the computer, even though it downloads onto the it downloads on there, but you have to have the disc to play it, which was like stupid. And then eventually, like, you know, Steam became more popular. People just started buying their games on Steam, and you didn't have to have discs. You just kind of had to download it, and you had it right then and there. And that was pretty convenient and cool at the time. And then eventually, like, you know, EA made their I think it's Ubisoft has Uplay, and then EA is like I forgot what EA is, but EA has one too. And then, you know, Epic came out with one. Everybody has their own like little store now for PC games. And then like on Xbox and stuff, like, you know, Xbox, the Wii, GameCube, like all the games before, like at least now, you had to go to the store and get like, you know, the actual disc or cartridge or whatever it was of the game that you were trying to play. And like sometimes, you know, you'd stay up late at night for the midnight releases. Like I remember Black Ops 2's midnight release. I didn't go, but my grandmother actually waited in line to get the game for me and brought it home for me to play just in time before I had to go to school. So I got a chance to play Black Ops 2 multiplayer before I went to school. That shit was awesome. I remember that day like it was yesterday. But like those were like certain things to kind of look forward to that now digital gaming is starting to become a bigger thing. It's not just on like PC anymore. Now they're starting to make like digital consoles. So like waiting for midnight releases for games, it's not as like impactful, I guess, because it's not really meaningful. It's all fucking video games at the end of the day. Like, you know, it's not something that should be die hard. But for the people that really care, it's like it's an event that isn't as around as much, basically, because you could just download the game, wait till 12 and play it, instead of like, you know, I guess waiting in line, fucking tenting out for a couple days or a couple hours, depending on how crazy you were, for a game that was coming out. And then like same thing with doing things like sharing games or like trading them in. Like I guess if you have a digital game, you can't really sell that game back. You're kind of just stuck with it. I don't really care about that too much because I was never one to sell my games. Usually when I bought something, I tried to keep it. Especially like because I had traded my two Nintendo DSs, and I think I gave them $80 to get a Nintendo DSi. I feel like that was the worst decision I've ever made. But I had a cool DSi, and I like the DSi, so I won't complain too much. But I just didn't like I couldn't play Game Boy games on the DSi. But yeah, I don't really care about not being able to trade the game in and get like 5 cents back from GameStop. And so I don't mind being stuck with it. It's just that like sharing games or even like trading with your friends, between friends, is a lot harder with digital games. It's basically impossible other than like file sharing and license transferring. Like I remember doing that a lot on Xbox 360. Like whenever I would buy stuff, me and my friend would file share. So that way we would always all have the same games and stuff like that. Even on Xbox One with the home Xbox thing. But I remember file share. I feel like file sharing on Xbox 360 was a lot more iconic. And you know, there was workarounds around it, but now like they're starting to make all digital consoles where like you don't even need to go to a store to buy the actual game. And it's kind of crazy actually, to be honest with you, because then like what if you buy a console, for example, like the Xbox One? You know how they had like the all digital version? Well, what if you had like Xbox One games already, like the discs, and you buy that one. Now you gotta like rebuy all the games. But I guess the first decision would be just not to buy the digital console if you know you have actual games. But the digital console is cheaper, so it's kind of like, you know, what if you're in a bunch and your Xbox breaks and you really want a new one? You would just buy the digital one because it's cheaper, but you can't play your games. Like, and then that's where Game Pass comes in, because then you might be able to pay I think it's what, $15 a month now, and have a chance to get your games that are if they're in Game Pass, if you're lucky. But they got Skyrim and Sea of Thieves; those are pretty good games. So I don't know. It's crazy. Like, the whole gaming scope, like the scope is about to change. Then I heard something, I guess, like the new Xbox. I don't know if this is correct, but apparently they're making a new Xbox and it's going to be all digital, which I think is going to be kind of crazy. Because that means, like, what, backwards compatibility is going to practically be impossible unless they do something where they allow that game to be bought on their store and played, like, through backwards compatibility or something. And like it's like, what about, like, I'm pretty sure, because somebody was complaining about preserving, like, the game. I wouldn't say complaining, but they were talking about preserving the game as, like, for emulation. That way, like, years down the line, you can always go back and easily play that console or that game on an emulated version of that console. And I guess I was like, I don't know if a digital would kill that, wouldn't it? Because you just download the files, so can't you just like, if it's on computer, for example, can't you just access it? But I could see of, like, more obscure games, or even, like, ones on console, actually, that I think about it, because you can't really access a console's, like, files as, like, that well as you could a computer. So I guess I kind of see where they were coming from. But then, like, after digital, because that was one thing, like, what I understood, like, when you buy a game, you have to download on the console. I thought that was stupid, but now, like, you know, because games are so much different. They're a lot bigger than they were back on, like, PS2, when you can have a 6 megabyte little hard drive thing, and that would last you for a lot of game saves. Now it's like that game saves are gigabytes now, so, like, it's just crazy. Damn, I just had a brain fart just thinking about it. It's just oh yeah. Then once the digital thing, right? Everything's digital. I can see, like, cloud gaming. You remember, like, the Google Stadia, where it was like it was a console, or like a low end. I think it was a console. I don't think it was a computer. I think it was like a low end console, or maybe a computer with bad specs, and you can download the games through, like, the cloud. So the cloud would make the game run better, even though, like, that thing can't really handle too much. And the same thing, like, I'm pretty sure, like, you can play, like, through the Xbox Game Pass or the Xbox app. You can cloud play games, like, on your phone and on your tablet and on your computer even. It's nuts. Like, that is probably going to be the next thing, like a Game Pass type of thing. Can you imagine if more companies? I think that's another reason why Xbox is buying up all these companies. Like, they want to make sure they can do something like this, and I wouldn't say I guess kind of monopolize, but at the same time, like, it's not it's practically a monopoly. Like, be able to have, like, these games, if they're not sold through physical anymore, only bundle it, like, in a Game Pass thing. And now all these different companies try to make, like, a Game Pass type of thing. That'll be, like, the next microtransaction of video games. Someone commented on my last video about if games should even be $70. Oh, that's another thing. I thought games costed so much too, because now they don't cost a lot, but I thought they costed around $60 because of the manufacturing and stuff like that. How is it that digital games cost more? How is it that if I pay, like, where is any of the production and the manufacturing cost? There is none when you buy a digital game. So it's kind of like digital games should be cheaper than actually having the physical game. That would make sense if they're like, hey, you know, $60 games are gonna be $50 or $40. But, like, they're all digital, and you can lose your rights if you get banned, and we kick you off our servers and you can't play the game. But nonetheless, it's only $40. I wouldn't complain. All right, but yeah, no, gaming is definitely heading for a sort of depression. That's what someone commented on my video about the $70 games, and they were right. Gaming is heading to some sort of depression, and what are we gonna do about it? We can't support all these bad games anymore. We just gotta stop. But let me know what you think in the comment section. If you agreed, leave a like. If you disagree, drop a dislike. My name is Lost Disciple, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.